Welcome to today's deep dive, everyone. I am so excited for our mission today.
Oh, me too. This is such a fantastic story.
Right, we are exploring the incredible, completely true story of a boy named Troy Andrews.
Though, most people around the world know him by a much cooler nickname.
Yes, they do, the famous Trombone Shorty.
Exactly.
And what I love right away is the kind of book we're using for this deep dive, because it's not just some history book written by a random person.
No, not at all. It's an autobiography.
Right. And for anyone listening who might not know, an autobiography is a true story written by the person who actually lived it.
Yeah, so Troy is telling us his own story.
Which means he uses words like, I and me and my. It's his real life from when he was tiny all the way to when he grew up.
Right. It makes it feel so personal.
It really does. Like if I read a book called Red Hair in Japan, that might be realistic fiction. Like it could happen in real life, but the characters are just made up by the author. But Trombone Shorty, he's a real character giving us the actual true facts of his life.
We get to see the whole world right through his eyes.
And through his ears.
Oh, yes. That is so important.
But, before we step into his world, there's this really fun detail from the text we need to learn. It's a special greeting.
Oh, I love this part.
Yeah. So if you're walking down the street in his city, the music isn't the only thing greeting you. A neighbor might sit on their front porch and yell, "Where yat?"
Where yat?
Exactly. It's the classic New Orleans way of saying hello and asking how you're doing. It just instantly pulls you into the bouncy rhythm of the city.
It really does. So, to understand how a kid gets a name like Trombone Shorty, we first have to understand the place where he grew up.
Yes, his neighborhood.
Right, a neighborhood in New Orleans called Tremé.
Tremé. And the sources paint such a bright picture of this place. The people living there, they didn't have a lot of money in the bank.
No, they didn't.
But man, when it came to music, they were the richest people on earth.
Truly.
And the way the book describes the music is just magical. It uses so much personification.
Yeah, giving the music human qualities.
Exactly. Music wasn't just noise coming out of a speaker. The music was like a living, breathing character.
Right.
The book says the music actually danced down the streets.
And it skipped along the cracked sidewalks.
Yes. If you were sad or having a bad day, the bright, bouncing jazz would just jog right up to you and chase all your worries away.
I mean, what an amazing way to describe sound. Especially during Mardi Gras.
Oh, wow, Mardi Gras.
Yeah, it's this huge, giant party in the city with all these parades, and the brass bands are right in the middle of it.
The descriptions here are incredible. As all these sparkly beaded necklaces are flying through the air, the instruments come totally alive.
Like they're real people.
Right. The text says the trumpets laugh out loud from the balconies.
I love that. Laughing trumpets.
And the saxophones sing these smooth, sweet lullabies that just wrap around the corners.
And we can't forget the tuba.
Oh, the mighty tuba. The book says the tuba marches right down the center of the street like a friendly giant.
A friendly giant. I mean, tubas are massive. The musicians actually wear them resting on their heads.
And Troy describes the bell of the tuba swinging back and forth exactly like an elephant's trunk.
It's so vivid. You could just picture this little boy watching these musical giants walking by.
Yeah, and Troy was absorbing all of these living sounds every single day. The laughing trumpets, the singing saxophones.
Which brings us to, my favorite analogy from the book.
The musical gumbo.
Yes, the musical gumbo.
So, okay, gumbo is a really famous soup from Louisiana. It's this big, deep pot on the stove. And you don't just use one thing. You throw in crab and shrimp, maybe some chicken, vegetables, rice.
Lots of spicy ingredients.
Right, and you let it all simmer together until it becomes one giant, delicious flavor. But, why does Troy compare the music floating around his neighborhood to a pot of soup?
Well, think about how food works. Just like that soup needs a ton of different ingredients to taste amazing, Troy realized he didn't want to just copy one single sound.
Yeah.
He took the marching sounds of the brass bands, the bouncy energy of funk, the storytelling rhythm of hip-hop.
All these different musical ingredients.
Exactly. He tossed all those different styles into his brain and stirred them together. He created his very own recipe, his very own musical gumbo.
That is so cool. His mind was just bubbling with this recipe. But, to eat soup, you need a spoon. And to share musical gumbo with the world, you need an instrument.
You do.
And we already said his family didn't have the money to just buy him a shiny new brass horn from a store.
No, but they were so creative. Troy and his friends wanted to play so badly, they just made their own instrument.
Out of trash, right?
Yeah. Empty boxes, old plastic bottles, scrap metal.
Wow.
They basically taught the neighborhood trash how to sing.
I love that. They taught the trash to sing. But eventually, a homemade box guitar just isn't enough. And then Troy makes this huge discovery. He finds a real instrument, but it wasn't shiny or new.
No, it was broken.
Yeah, it was this old, beaten-up trombone. The book says it looked too tired to ever make music again. It looked like it had fallen into a deep, long sleep.
But Troy woke it up.
He really did. He wiped the dirt off, cleared out the dust, and he blew his breath into it. He woke that broken trombone up from its sleep, and it started to sing.
Which is amazing because we have to talk about the physics of a trombone here.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about how big this thing is.
So a trombone is essentially 9 feet of brass tubing
9 feet.
wrapped up in a loop.
Yeah.
And it has this long slide you push out. For an adult, it's fine. But for a 4-year-old kid?
A 4-year-old.
Yeah, the physics are completely against you.
Right. I mean, imagine being 4 years old, barely taller than a fire hydrant, holding a piece of heavy brass twice your size.
It's just so heavy.
Gravity is pulling the front down. The slide is stretching past your little fingers. The sheer weight of the metal literally wrestles you into the dirt.
It just tips you right over into the dust.
Yeah. But the moment a parade marched past his house, he didn't care. He grabbed that awakened trombone, ran into the street, and just started playing along.
And that is when his brother James saw him.
Yes. James was already an older kid playing trumpet in his own band. He looks over, sees his tiny brother fighting this massive horn, and he smiles and yells out,
Trombone Shorty.
Trombone Shorty! I mean, isn't that kind of a funny contradiction, calling him Shorty when the trombone is so huge?
It's hilarious, but that's exactly the point. The instrument was twice his size.
Oh.
But his determination was way bigger than his height.
Because he fell down a lot, right?
Oh, all the time. But he always got back up. He wiped the dirt off his knees and held the heavy horn right back up to the sky.
He practiced morning, noon, and night.
He did. And the author does this really neat trick in the book. The word trombone is repeated over and over and over again.
Why is that?
Because it shows us how important it is. It's like the trombone became a part of his body.
Wow. Yeah, he loved that tired old horn so much he even fell asleep holding it in his hands.
Exactly. And all that practice, all that falling in the dirt and getting back up, it prepared him for something huge.
Oh my gosh, yes. This next part feels like it's straight out of a movie.
It really does.
So, Troy's mom surprises him with tickets to the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival.
The biggest festival in town.
The absolute biggest. The music is so loud and joyful, it practically floats on the clouds. And they go to see a musician named Bo Diddley.
Now, Bo Diddley is a legend. He is one of the most important rock and roll pioneers of all time.
Right. So Bo Diddley is up on this massive stage. Thousands of people are in the crowd. And tiny little Troy is down in the middle of all these giant adults.
But he brought his trombone.
Of course he did. He raises it to his lips, and he just starts playing along with the band right there in the crowd.
And Bo Diddley hears him.
Yes. The notes float up to the stage, and Bo Diddley actually stops his band.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of a song.
That is so crazy. He stops everything.
He looks out at the crowd and asks, "Who's that playing out there?"
And his mom just springs into action.
She grabs little Troy, lifts him high up in the air over the crowd, and shouts, "That's my son, Trombone Shorty!"
And Bo invites him up.
The crowd goes wild. They literally pass Troy overhead. He crowd surfs like a little superhero floating on hands until they set him down right on the stage next to the giant legend.
Imagine being 4 years old, standing next to Bo Diddley on a giant stage.
Right. And Bo Diddley looks down at him and asks, "What do you want to play?"
This is the best part.
I know, you'd think Troy would say, "I'll just copy whatever you do, sir." But what does Troy actually say?
He looks right at Bo Diddley and says, "Follow me?"
Follow me. Wait, really? A tiny kid telling a rock legend to follow him?
Yes. It just shows his unbelievable confidence. He wasn't scared. His musical gumbo was so ready, he was completely unafraid to lead a musical giant.
That gives me goosebumps. Just follow me. And when you have the courage to do that, you are ready to take your gumbo to the world.
Absolutely. And as he grew up, that's what he did. He started a band with his friends called the 5 O'Clock Band.
And I love why they called it that. It wasn't some cool rock star reason. They called it the 5 O'Clock Band because they practiced every day right after they finished their homework.
Homework first. Even if you play with Bo Diddley, you got to do your math.
Right. So he practices, he joins his older brother's band, and eventually he grows up and forms his own adult band, Trombone Shorty and Orleans Avenue.
Orleans Avenue, which is a street right back in his home neighborhood of Tremé.
Right. And the notes mention something so cool about the structure of his story. It's like a jazz song, right?
It is. In a jazz song, you start with the main melody at the beginning. Then you go off into the middle and play all these crazy, wild solos. But at the end of the song...
You loop right back to the beginning.
Exactly. And that's his life. He traveled the world, played on giant stages. That was his big solo. But his success always brings him right back home to the beginning. Back to New Orleans.
Wow. So he comes back home.
Yeah. When he's home, he looks out for the younger kids in the neighborhood. He finds little kids carrying heavy instruments, and he helps them out, exactly like his brother did for him.
Oh, that is beautiful. The music just keeps dancing in a big circle. He still leads parades in the streets of Tremé, and he keeps that trombone right in his hands.
He promised never to let it go.
What a fantastic story. So let's summarize this joyful deep dive. We learned about a boy from Tremé who took a broken, sleeping horn, mixed up a delicious pot of musical gumbo, and marched from the dirt sidewalks all the way to the biggest stages in the world.
He proved that you don't need the shiniest, most expensive tools to make the most beautiful noise.
You really don't.
And, you know, for everyone listening, this connects directly to you. You might feel small right now, you might have huge dreams, but you only have a broken trombone to start with.
Right, like maybe things aren't perfect.
Exactly. The weight of your dreams might knock you right into the dirt. But if you hold your dream up high, if you practice day and night, and if you always get back up when you fall,
your voice will grow loud.
it will. Your voice will be loud enough to make the whole world follow you.
I absolutely love that. And before we go, I want to leave you, the listener, with one final fun question to chew on.
Oh, good idea.
If your life was an autobiography and you had to be given a special Shorty nickname based on the one thing you love doing the most, what would it be?
The thing you'd happily fall asleep holding in your hands.
Exactly. Would you be a paintbrush Shorty, code writer Shorty, soccer ball Shorty?
It's a great way to figure out what your personal trombone is.
It really is. Well, I'm going to be thinking about my nickname all day. Thank you so much for joining our parade today, everyone.
Yes, keep mixing your own gumbo.
Always get back up when you fall and let your music sing. We will see you next time, but for now, we have to sign off the only way Tremé knows how. Where yet you.